what is the first thing that we should do for those of us with elderly parents? I really can't even begin to prioritize. You've told us so many wonderful things, but what's the first step that we should be taking? What are some things that we should be looking at to really get started in this new line of thinking of a long-term plan?
Well, I always think that the first step always is an awareness that this could happen to me.
Yes.
We hear a lot of times, well, I think I might do this down the road, but I don't think it's going to happen to me, or my children will take care of me, which is very difficult in this modern society. Children are all over the country. They may have families of their own. It's not multi-generational under one roof anymore.
There's a guilt factor, Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Our parents have always been there for us. What kind of kids are we if we don't take care of them?
Well, I think that it would be nice if that can be done, but being a caretaker is a lot more than it looks like maybe from the outside.
Mm-hmm.
A 24/7 situation is very, very difficult.
Yes.
And what we're suggesting is that if you do have a parent go to assisted living, is the ideal solution, because they have socialization, they have 24-hour supervision, and they're going to have a social life.
Right.
Many times the children want to keep them at home, but there's no social life unless they come over to take them somewhere.
Right.
So what we're trying to say is that you need to stay healthy so that you can provide emotional support. If you're bogged down in 24/7 care, physically you'll be exhausted. There will be no emotional side left. If some third party can provide that, whether it's assisted living or nursing home, you're now that emotional support that they need so badly.
Exactly.
And the first step then is, after the awareness, is do you have planning documents in place? The key piece that we need is a power of attorney for financial. The power of attorney will allow a third party now to exercise whatever rights you have or whatever you put in the document. And two key things that you want in that document is a gifting clause and a self-dealing clause. And that's, again, something that's a little bit complex to talk about in a small segment, but that then opens the door for us to do significant amounts of planning. You should have that in place, obviously a will. You should have the advance directives, a health care power of attorney, and a living will. That's the starting point. And then from there, you would really want to design a life care plan for how are we going to pay for long-term care.
Sure.
Are we able to buy long-term care insurance?
Yes.
If not, how are we going to access these other programs, or are they available to us?
Yes.
And that becomes then the starting point, so that you know in the future when this issue comes up, you've already had some things in place in order to be able to make sure that this isn't as catastrophic as it would be.
I had a friend that went through the process, and one of the things that she mentioned to me was, thank goodness we had this in place, because then as we, you know, when the time came and the time came to say goodbye to this loved one, there were no other stressors involved. Everything was planned for, everything was taken care of.
Well, we always hearken back to the sort of short version of what this is all about, and which is, if you're out of money, you're out of options. And although Medicaid is a very comprehensive program, they only give you $40 a month for your personal needs. And that's usually not adequate for most people.
Sure.
So you want to do some planning so that you're able to supplement that, so that you're able to transition into programs easily. And that's really where our focus comes, where my passion lies, and again, is allowing middle Americans who have probably never used a government program in their life to be able to save everything that they've worked so hard to earn.